name is Don Coyas. I'm from the Mohican Nation, and I'm from the Turtle Clan. In many of our communities, there's been a lot of fulfillment of prophecies, where they have for a long time talked about us being in this time of healing, that we're headed for a new time. Another tribe, they talked about that someday a white buffalo calf would be born. And when that calf was born, it would turn 4 colors and turn white again. So to that tribes, they said that's when we know we are near this time. We're like in a time of where things are happening for us as Native people. I thought what would be really appropriate is just for those who may not know about the hoop, just to tell a little bit about it and how it was born. And there was this vision, and in this vision this eagle came to this Indian man. And this vision happened at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it dropped a beam of light down into the head of this Indian. And this light, it started to expand, and in his mind this light, it came and it formed a beam from the sky to the earth. And in this beam of light there was this very small twig. It started to grow. And as it continued to grow, it went through the seasons, spring, summer, it went through the fall time and the winter. And then the leaves, they fell off of this tree. And then soon the branches fell off of this tree, and the stem, it rose up vertically and then it turned horizontally. And as it turned horizontally, it started to bend itself into a circle to represent the earth and the universe. And when that circle was completed, this dot formed in the sky, and it started to come down to that hoop. And as it came to the hoop, it dipped in a feather, an eagle feather. It attached itself to the hoop. And then one came from the other directions, north, south, east, and west, and the feathers, they continued to form onto this hoop until there was 100 eagle feathers was attached to this hoop. So then we took that vision to the elders in South Dakota. There's about 17 of them. And when we took them tobacco, then they told us, they said, tell us the story of your whole life, everything. And it took a long time. At first I talked to them, and then I, just a little while, and I kind of waited. And they didn't say anything, so I sat there for a long time, so I talked a little bit more, and they just sat there. So then I just kept telling them about things. Then finally in the afternoon they said, they come and smudged us with sweetgrass, and they said, you need to build that hoop. Then they said, when you get that hoop built, you need to take it to the place of the white buffalo calf. So then they said, you have any questions? And I think I'm part university trained, so as soon as they said do it, then I went right to logistics. I thought, where am I going to get 100 eagle feathers from? I have one. And so I said, where am I going to get these 100 eagle feathers from? And they said, don't worry. They said, they'll come to you. And over the next year, they started coming. Then when we got 100 of them, it just quit. No more feathers came. So then we took the hoop and we built a sweat lodge out in the mountains. And we fasted. We kept the same fire day and night like we were told. And we suspended that hoop in the inside of that sweat lodge. Then what they said is, what this means is it's the coming together of the human race. There is only one race, that's the human race. And what the elders said, we walk around this earth on, they said, these are earth suits, what you see here. This is an earth suit. Some earth suits are red, some white, yellow, black. And what they said is, put those 4 colors of ribbons on there, and then bring those ribbons together in the middle, and put one feather in that middle. And so that's the way we did. So every wrap of that ribbon, a prayer was said. Every feather, when it was put on there, a prayer was said. When that was done, then we were told to take this hoop up by the white buffalo calf that was born in Janesville, Wisconsin. Then the elders told us, they said, you have to gather elders, traditional elders from the 4 colors. Red, yellow, black, and white. And then the elders, they did many ceremonies during the days that we were up there. But the last day, they took cedar and they laid that cedar in 4 directions, and they took that hoop and they set it on there. Then they talked to us about what this hoop means. We got to come together. And so they said that we're going to put into this hoop 4 gifts that will help this coming together, this healing time. And the first gift they said they put in there was the powers to forgive the unforgivable. They said the second gift they put into there was the powers to heal, healing powers. And so they would pray and they would put their medicines and things in there. Then the third gift was unity, the powers to come together. And the fourth gift they put into it was hope, the ability to dream, the ability to see the wellness that we have the powers to attain. Then when they were done, they said that hoop will go on a great journey. And so the journey has started with the Onondagas, the Six Nations people. And the people gathered, and the clan mothers helped, and their children, and everyone was there. And it started the journey to all the tribal colleges throughout the United States. And as we continued to go to the colleges, the people gathered and they offered their prayers. And as they offered their prayers, the momentum of the hoop and the talk about creating this Wellbriety movement, it became very touching to many of the people. And as we continued this journey from college to college, some communities closed the schools and they allowed the children to come. And they came with drums and with ceremonies, and we continued the journey as we traveled across, traveling through all the seasons. And the reception, it was so fantastic at each of the colleges. As we went there, the people participated, the elders supported the journey, the women came, prayed with that hoop, and even it seemed like nature was supporting us. And at each place that we went, the children continued to come, and the families continued to come, and the elders spoke. And there was so much support. And the children, they were just mesmerized by what was going on. They were listening. You could just tell that they were. It's like even the ancestors from the old days, they were part of this journey. And the little children, we welcomed the children. And as we continued the journey from college to college, the momentum grew. Even the children carried the hoop, because somehow inside of them they knew what this was about, this time of healing, the time of forgiveness and of unity and all the other gifts that the hoop has given to us. And it seemed like a pride was created that we were finally making this journey as we went to all these colleges. And the people, they came and they listened. And they knew that this was the time, the healing time for us to go. Even Haskell, the old school, that was part of the educational system, one of the first schools. And they came, and the elders spoke, and the students listened. And they came and they were prayed, and they offered their prayers to make the hoop stronger as we went from community to community to community. And one thing about it was everybody respected that hoop and what we were doing. It seemed like everyone knew what we were doing as we traveled across the great Indian nations and across the land. They welcomed us ahead of time. As it grew, they knew that we were coming. And the veterans, they came and they offered their prayers and carrying in the hoop, and the songs were sung. And everyone was paying attention to this great journey that we were making into the Sioux Nations. The people showed up and we were fed and we were housed, and it wasn't just the native people, but the people that were working in the communities. They were there supporting it. And as we continued this journey across the United States, the land of our ancestors, it's like an awakening started to take place. And people were looking forward and honored to carry that sacred hoop. And even our oldest elders, they spoke of this healing time. And it wasn't always good weather. We hit snow, we saw the buffaloes, we saw so many things that has been on this land forever. And the prayers from Bear Butte and all of those things we've been praying for so many years. It started to build this momentum as we crossed the sacred land of our Indian nations, and the tears and the hopes and the dreams of the people. And as we continued, even on the Indian highways, we were going to Standing Rock and more of the colleges. It was just like people were waiting for us to come there. The word was getting out about the Wellbriety movement. and about this healing time that was going to take place in all of our nations. And it just continued, prayer after prayer and dance after dance, to Turtle Island and to Turtle Mountain Community College. Such a big turnout there, and they brought their babies and again offered their prayers to build the momentum. Many traveled for so many miles to bring their children to see this sacred hoop, because somehow inside of us we knew that this healing time, it was here and it was going to happen. And we were given tobacco and medicines that we offered to certain rivers as we crossed them. We were told when we crossed certain rivers to offer that tobacco. And we continued to build the momentum and hear the songs and have the children. They came forward. Community after community that we traveled. And so much respect was shown for that sacred hoop as we went across these great lands of ours. And the veterans, such respect that they had for this hoop, because that's what they died for and that's what they fought for, so that our nations, that we could heal, and that our children, that we would come together and smile and be happy again and get away from these grips of alcohol. Even nature, the hawks, they guided us. They were showing us that our path in which we were going was good. And Mary Lodgepole, she was just a fantastic influence on that journey. And the songs that we got from Rocky Boy and the places that they allowed us to come to talk about this Wellbriety movement. And as we continued the journey, the people, they just continued to show up, and they continued to cry and to pray. And we formed our sacred circles, and they gave us the prayers for us to go on to this journey as we traveled this 11,000 miles on this journey. And we continued to get the support and approval of the elders and of the people and of the children and of the songs. Without the songs and the children and the prayers, and we couldn't have made it, because we saw a lot of signs of the alcohol. We saw the crosses on the reservations as we traveled across our lands. And the young people, they were listening. We met young people who had never tasted alcohol, never smoked any dope. They were already on this path, the culture, that culture is the prevention as we come back to that way. And we all seem to know that. And up into Canada, the tribal college there, and we traveled into all different kinds of weather as we made this journey. And we saw so many beautiful things of our Indian lands. And we continued up into the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, and we were welcomed there by the people. And we had the ceremonies held there in the ceremonial houses, and we were fed and just continued. We even got to a place where the young people wanted to run that hoop into the college, and that's what they did. They run 10 miles. They run that sacred hoop to the gathering, and people just continued to respect that sacred hoop, and the momentum built. And we had more prayers and the medicines that we were giving and the tears that we shed, because we know that our communities are going to go into the healing. Into the sacred houses of the Navajos. We were welcomed into there, and we had the prayers of the Navajos and the elders and the support of the various tribal colleges at the Navajo Nation. And the prayers continued and the circles continued to form. As we made this journey, we started to recruit sober Native people, or people who were working with sobriety in Native communities, to start these circles of recovery. What we trained them on was how to use the medicine wheel in 12 steps for men and for women, to start circles of recovery, to gather stories for an Indian Big Book that we were going to write that has a Native point of view on sobriety, that includes the culture, the spirituality. And we started to create this movement knowing that we were going to go back and train people on how to become these fire starters.
My hopes and my dream that from this, maybe something will happen that will be good for our people. Maybe in this room, there are some of you who will be able to be leaders in your own way. I was reading their program here. It talks about the fire starter program, and I like that concept. That's good, because to be a fire starter means that you actually have to do something. Has anyone here in this room ever started a fire without at least striking a match? Or in this day and age, flick a Bic? No. It takes action to make that happen. If we really want our reservation to be sober, if we want our reservation to be a good place to live, a place full of wellness, then it's going to take some action. It's going to take a fire starter or two to make that happen. Maybe it's something as simple as raising your hand saying, yeah, I'll try this. I see they have training and different things that they do here. I'll try this. I want to try being a fire starter. Who knows? Maybe in this room, you'll be the leaders for sobriety. But I know one thing, that is this story here in this pamphlet says, this started with a vision. It started with prayer. And I really, really believe that prayer is essential to every aspect of life. It started with the elders, and it started in a hoop. That kind of gives me everything that I need to know right there. Now it's up to us as individuals to utilize our vision to make the hoop stronger. I call upon you as your chairman to take part wherever necessary and wherever need be. This is what I ask of you, and I want to thank each and every one of you. May you go with God, and God's grace be with you.
About that someday a white buffalo calf would be born, and when that calf was born, it would turn 4 colors and turn white again. So to that tribes, they said, that's when we know we are near this time. We're like in a time of where things are happening for us as Native people. I thought what would be really appropriate is this, for those who may not know about the hoop, just to tell a little bit about it and how it was born. My name is Don Coyas. I'm from the Mohican Nation, and I am from the Turtle Clan. In many of our communities, there's been a lot of fulfillment of prophecies, where they have for a long time talked about us being in this time of healing, that we're headed for a new time. Another tribe, they talked through the seasons, spring, summer, it went through the fall time and the winter. And then the leaves, they fell off of this tree, and then soon the branches fell off of this tree, and the stem, it rose up vertically and then it turned horizontally. And as it turned horizontally, it started to bend itself into a circle to represent the earth and the universe. And when that circle was completed, and there was this vision, and in this vision, this eagle came to this Indian man. And this vision happened at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it dropped a beam of light down into the head of this Indian. And this light, it started to expand, and in his mind, this light, it came and it formed a beam from the sky to the earth. And in this beam of light there was this very small twig. It started to grow, and as it continued to grow, it went